Hi, my name is William On. I'm grateful for this opportunity to share my poems with everyone here today. This first poem is called Day. Day. When it was time for lunch, the men would come out of the factory. The machines, the conveyor belts, the raw, dark interior behind them. It's the only moment to get some air, sitting on the dirt as they were taught in childhood. They eat their sandwiches, watching cars on the highway in the distance, all with somewhere important to be. These were not the cars they knew. Scattered across the lot, too tired to form any particular configuration, today they see a cow along the road. Today the sounds of the highway are more muted. It's the first day of fall, the wind stirring up the dust that would have otherwise just sat there, useless as the things that brought it here. This next poem is called Coming of Age. Coming of age. There is something so useless about childhood. When I was 5, I found somebody in the river. Grandpa joked it toughened you up to the real world, and I believed him. But now I think that is not really true. Swallowing river water did something more, his hands pressing on my head. The submersion and crisp cold intrusion, water needling. In that moment, I thought of what little I knew about death, that this must be what it means to be important, for someone to want your life. It was over in a matter of minutes, or at least that is what he tells me. Perhaps I spend too much time down there or away from our fathers. Their refuse lingers in the air, grazing the yard long after they've taken their deadness onto another woman and her children. The river was especially good on those raw and empty days, in those winters. It's mostly quiet, except for a bird rehearsing love songs. The snow absorbs it all, a good excuse to surrender. Let it be enough to lie down there and never come home. Let it cover the blues before the cruelest month comes, no memories, no stirring. But like all things in this town, it'll come, and I'll have children too. I will bring them to this river, its coldness still needling, and sit with them, hands gently pressed on their heads. I will be the one to submerge them in childhood. The final poem I'll read was written recently as I tried to capture and reflect on what it's meant to be a student here over the past 4 years. It's called Listen. Listen. I am talking about the days when the sun spills through the branches after emptiness, like the first minutes of a party when the music is devoid of our voices, when the buds have begun forming and the green begins to be green again. When the tour group moves over like a wave, this is one of 15 libraries on campus. And you are reminded of why you came here and who you wanted to become in 4 years, when it is easy to forget the spirit of yourself. So you take a moment now to listen to the bells and the squirrels chasing each other before they bury their belongings to be lost or found. When you don't know what's to come, shh, you say, we have work to do. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. My name is Kenyan Sola Anafuoshi. It's a real honor to be reading here for you. Thank you for having me. Before I read my poems, I just want to say that as a poet and as a student, I stand with the students occupying Beinecke Plaza to demand an end to Yale's investments in weapons manufacturing and for a just peace in Palestine, because all life is sacred. And I want to invite all of you to join the student occupation after this event. There are readings, teach-ins, and workshops. And I just want to call in the words of Alice Walker, who wrote, "We must be done with cruelty, especially to ourselves, with a role that shows we've reached the end of polite moves to repair and recreate the earth, and will press hard on any parts of ourselves, even those we've loved that insist on remaining oblivious and asleep. Okay, now my poems. The first poem is called Mayflies. Beside me, a man is learning to walk again. There's nothing more I want than to roll down this green lawn with you. Think, we could retrace the path the night takes, could scavenge for something we already possess, could have been a sinner, but I chose to be a blue shaft of light riveted to the grass. This is what remains, I say to you, clawing at the dirt. Could have been a prince, my round face unuglied. Still lonely, I chose to be a swarm of grackles, velvet, featherlight, and swift. I swear I was once the fiddlehead fern, ragged maybe, but I prowled the forest floor in ecstasy. In time, I found the hole in a wire fence and crept inside, a mending creature. Some of us are born to sit there and thread. All at once, mayflies came teeming along the river. Then it was just an onslaught of maple seedlings crashing down on my body in small tornadoes. How many, I could not say. They just kept on coming. The next poem is called Confession. It's not printed there, sorry. And it comes from a series of poems about Joan of Arc, or inspired by Joan of Arc. Confession. My lips moving in silence. Silence, blackbirds cry, a knife, splitting the sky in two. Scythe slashing wheat dry, and light which sanctifies the land, fading to winter. I bend at the waist to gather as Angelus bells begin to toll. That harsh pleasure rings through the body. It doesn't stop sounding. I buckle there on blackened earth, tongue tracing, tolling, field of thistle tolling, stone cool against my skin tolling, still tolling, I need it to be known. After the sky, shadows, before the earth, breeze stirring the wheat. Father, what can I tell you that is not already yours? Thank you.
Hi, everyone. My name's Olivia Bell. I'd like to thank you all for having me here today. And thank you, Kanyan Sola, for a beautifully said statement that I would like to echo. The first poem I have for you is called Glacial State. You lived saddled between two mountains up in Western Connecticut on the headwall side. I came from Flatland, palette knife dragged clean across the middle of the country, and followed you here to hills tumbling towards the Atlantic. Once you told me to write something that wasn't about being depressed. I told you I am not depressed. I am just obsessed with punishment. I am a practitioner. Into the Long Island Sound flows no fewer than 120 rivers, formed in the bare dark, before we started scoring the earth. You said, this state has the most diverse soils of any in America, and I later learned this isn't true. The glaciers drove the loam and sand and stoniness away from the east, left it with just the sentimental deposits, land eroded into clay. This was a time when I did not yet know you, a time inaccessible and inconceivable. In this gap, before language, a girl bends down, drinks, takes the water from the mouth of the river to her own. The second one is called The Hair. It's also not printed. The hair. How to say simply, hairs give birth to strange creatures. Too many or not enough, eyes, heads, limbs, a ball of flesh with a primordial mouth. How to say the boys were down by the bridge when they found it, and that they were throwing stones round and flat like pennies, light pulsing through the water below. It is natural to struggle against form. How to say the life of a hare with 3 eyes is as good as any other. They lined the box with rags, river drifted it down. And how to say a sonnet is always as close to self-sacrifice as is the hair quivering beneath the throwing stone. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Daniel Block, more commonly known as Danya. And my first poem is Prehistory, which is included in the chapbook. Prehistory. Before the first embarrassment you handed out and named, there must have been a brief caesura, whir of a projector turning on. Then the frame. A hospital in Alabama, evening traffic in the window, tedious sinking of the rest of life. Doctors wipe your blood and move along. Your father can attend his Monday classes. Will you ever find in darkness what preceded it? That gap between a title and its text, after the mind arrives before the gasp. My next poem is called Prayer. The first half of this poem is spoken from the voice of a group of protesters, and the second half kind of reflects on that. And I want to take this kind of thematically opportune moment to invite everyone to join the protests for Gaza in the occupation by Nikki Plaza after this reading is over, of course. This poem is Prayer. May your guns choke. May your drones, like flocks of geese, veer east and graze. May the soldier lose his way in a long desert. May he fall upon a blue oasis, strip his clothes, and swim. Cabbies, postmen, poets hurl this curse, placards bending in the wind. The clouds tense with anger. The pressure is certain to birth the miraculous. Around 6 p.m., the pressure relaxes. Obligations trickle through. The taxi driver finds his car. The nervous postal worker takes her shift. The bearded poet goes to a cafe. They forget. On another continent, the sky births a bomb. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. Such an honor to be here. Before I begin, I'd just like to reiterate Danyan Kingansola's statements and invitations to join the students in the plaza. This first poem is called Meet Cute with a Boot. A man once strained to close a suitcase full of eggs along the stretch of Rue de Pool at which your whale mouth gasped from some phone call to show me tape there, dangling on your shoe. I might have thanked your grace, your faith, to trust a stranger plainly shit at Heimlich blows and scrapbooks. When my foot set down on tape, off came my spine. The truth, you must have known that I'm a leech. I latch, I let, I bloat, you hate, I fall. If mom were on the line, she'd tell you how. The year I didn't eat, I cooked a quiche that made Rachel throw up. Your boot licked, my shoe taped. Right here, I find my symbiosis. Off you go, scotch-free. Called Wash Hands with Evil Soap. Today, we will build your body in The Sims 3. Click personality, flirt. Life wish, emperor of evil. Put hair in emo swoosh, tramp stamp in rainbow. Click bikini with flames, hips with edge. Toggle voice from Monroe-ish, Simlish, hello, sul. Resize forehead to test head without brain. With cheat code, motherload, dispose of all brain power required to make ends meet in Sims 3. Drop Sim an empty lot. Watch Sim greet Sul Sul, empty street. Next, build your empire of evil. Plunk bathtub in backyard. Step stool by window edge. Dig pool with no ladder under sky of rainbow. Find lover at end of Barnacle Bay town rainbow. Lad with carrot top, skater shirt, life wish, best brain surgeon. Click joke, flirt, 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 offer rose, until you edge into pink on relationship meter, clap, clap. Love in The Sims 3 is a matter of repetition. Love in the Empire of Evil is never good. Best brain surgeon comes by all Sul Sul, right when Vampire Sim is finally biting your neck. Sul Sul, offer him soup. Brain surgeon and vampire float rainbow emojis. You start fire, heating soup while evil does its thing. They swim, look for a ladder. Sim brain thinks drowning is waving. Evil in The Sims 3 is clicking wash hands with evil soap, considering window edge, while Empire does the dirty work. When real vertebrae edge against concrete wall by bed, Vampire respawns in window alt Sul Sul, and Empire burns to glitch. Close Sims 3. Open Pottery Barn. Again. 100 Kids headboard. In rainbow. Cause cheap. Clap, clap, motherload rings. Drop by. No brain. Go wash hands. Lame ass soap. Evil, 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 evil. Nothing devious about depression. But evil keeps it fresh. You feel off window edge. Opportunity to close door leads to open, hands to water, brain. Doesn't need ladder to leave pool, greet Sul Sul, get to business in the sink, scrub a dub 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 dub, shiny rainbow politics on the phone with motherload, dispose, hangnails, memory, Sims 3. How evil it is to go for lunch with motherload when you have an entire empire in The Sims 3. On toilet break, swipe left. Emo girl, 1, 2, 3, scrub a dub dub. Rainbow, back to it. Bowl of minestrone, fly still down. Mother, hey, foraging glitch, Sul Sul. Thank you so much.
Hi, my name is David, and I'm also, very happy to be here in front of you reading poems, and would again like to invite you all after this to the occupation of Beinecke Plaza. I have 2 short poems for you today. The first is Retreat. The wooden railing worn smooth, the view of the lake, you beside me on the porch swing, lavender, like Monet's haystacks in the changing light. I ran away with you here as the sun runs from us now. My eyes turn from you back to the water, from the water to the mountains encircling the shore. A lake is a lake because the earth around it holds its shape. I lay my head on your shoulder. And then my second poem, Genesis. I am both bone and bone of my bone. That is how I told my pastor I am non-binary. I am the flesh I was born and the flesh I have made. This confused him. He said, "You are not God," as if no one else changes. Neither of us live in Eden, I say. I am happy to be cast out, to wander in the blistering sand winds, eating my thorns and thistles. I have no further designs. Thank you all.
Hi, I'm Forrest, and I'm also grateful to be here. I'm also grateful for my teachers at Yale who've taught me poetry, who include, in the order in which I met them, Derek Green, Cynthia Zarin, Peter Cole, Danielle Chapman, Louise Glick, and Richard Deming. And I'm also thankful for Kanyan Sola's invitation to the occupation, which I'm excited to take her up on. I'm going to start with a poem that's not in the pamphlet. Boy, I wanted to be a girl. I became a man, penis lolling between my legs like a tongue from a bulldog's mouth. Gasp by gasp, I breathe. Body stunted, body swimming in excess, body admired in the human fixation on form. The desired dog skewed so perfectly it cannot give birth. The spurned dog, ragged and scrappy, able to withstand the street. The choice always artifice or aberration, cushion or concrete. This next poem is in the pamphlet. Pigs. The moon is shrouded in the first clouds of winter, and I am at the window writing you a letter about swine. When a sow escapes from a farm, she finds within weeks a sounder to join. Before long, she is feral and ready to birth something wild. Bright creatures are, of course, more easily hunted. In a few generations, the escaped sow's progeny turn into crimson shadows, which means you can deduce the nature of a pig from the red of its flesh. And I am writing you this, you who are a starlit rose. And it is snowing now, and I can think only of garnet, ruby, blood, all the shades of abandon.
Hi everyone, I'm John. Before I read, I want to say that my poems today pay homage to my parents, Vietnamese refugees, and displacement is historical and ongoing. And therefore, my poems are in conversation with ongoing displacement in Palestine. Transference, St. Paul, Minnesota. Returning from a walk, we reach our house and see the light burst a hole through the living room window, sidewalks and roads glazed with ice, mailboxes tight-lipped. I look up at Mother, watch the snow rest on her eyelashes. Around us, the snow blowers and snowplow trucks begin once more, another morning. Angela, Cindy, and I cover our ears. Father's part of the crew as well. A train is just visible above the treetops. The women enter the house, stay there. Wanting to help Father, I go in, change into snow pants, then run back outside, hop toward my shovel, which is leaning against empty pots and the gutter. It has a plastic red blade like a matchstick. In this scene, like others to come, I am a child up to no good. Look, see for yourself, how I grab the shiny handle, how the yard ignites. Guzzle. My mother works in the industry of the heart. For 30 years, she's toiled in the heartland, Minnesota. As a boy in winter, I approached the ice cream man and chose a popsicle, heart-shaped, strawberry-colored. Then I asked Ma for a Christmas gift outside the means. It pinched her heart. See, my mother is not a cardiologist. She's a factory woman, inspecting what'll soon guide the heart, a pacemaker. Mike Pence has one, Mother Teresa had one, pulses delivered to a slow beating heart. At the airport by the metal detector, I read a sign, notify TSA if you have a pacemaker, a faulty heart. Every piece Ma examines, the metal case that houses a battery and circuit, the lead wires, the heart-shocking electrodes. Funnily, Ba may need a pacemaker one day because of his Marlboro heart. When my father went into cardiac arrest, he faced the casino. He gambled away what remained of his heart. Each man knows loss and gain, luck's double door. When a crush spurns my love, it is disheartening for this poor gay. But I remember that Ma finds me vital, even when she says I have a warped heart. Like Penelope, my mother spends her days coloring the pages of a life. Dinner is oxtail soup, a hearty meal.
Hello, everyone. My name is Awor Onguru. This is your 8th invitation to join the occupation protest outside after this reading and to, in every way that you can, stand with the people of Palestine. I'm really happy to be here to share my poetry with you. The first is called Partita for Four Voices, Part 4, Passacaglia, after Caroline Shaw. The resonant frequencies creep up behind you like shadows. When the notes vibrate, they vibrate in your bones, announcing themselves in the gentle way air announces itself. Each breath of nature is music. A million taut lines between you and everything. The lines make holes so tiny ants could climb inside if they wanted to. They could take refuge there. You too could shrink yourself to ride the wind like a wave, making a home in the crevices. As the leaves fall, the lines fall with them, cascading to the ground like wishes. Underneath, termites take their rest from eternal work, and the wind a constant battle between what is real and what is prayed for. You can draw, in fact, 10 million lines between your toes and each grain of sand, all of them equally taut, promising movement to somewhere. If not forwards, downwards, into the belly of the earth, where you too can take refuge. The first song was the earth's deep maternal rumbling. The last song shall be the silence after the breath. My second poem is called NBO, after my home city, Nairobi, Kenya. By the time the big-bellied boys bump into you, you are too drunk to remember that their pupils are dilated and elephant arms outstretched, and they will mash your ass into their erection as the disco lights illuminate only half selves. And oh, to be a man in Nairobi club, to reek of Tusker and Nivea in a gated community just a few miles west of here. By the time you are crossing the expanse of the dance floor, the sun will have set outside, and there are classy women in red dresses and black heels drinking sangrias or margaritas or whatever the hell says I am better than the bump and blare of music that is gritty like it was pulled from the road. There is a moment in a Nairobi night that feels like the big crack in the dance floor. You fell in love in this city, like the girl whose boyfriend threw her out of a fifth-story window. So we cross the road to be in a quieter place where the disco is inside us and the men are a part of us. You have died in this city. You have ridden in and out of radio static at the borders. There's a big shift in energy, like the force between magnets or the beginning of a story. You fell in love in this city, like you fell in love, like the girl whose boyfriend, when she, you know, when didn't she know that Nairobi is a very funny place for women, but we all just sigh and say, Nairobi, Nairobi, like a song, just repeating.
Hello, everyone. My name is Nimran Shirgil, and I am excited to read for you all today. Before I begin, I'd also like to acknowledge and echo the words of my fellow student poets. The first poem that I will be reading for you all is called Habit Making Takes. 21 days, geez, I don't have the resolve for 5. I felt the determined wind blow in my face like knives. Turns out the wind blows against me. I thought I controlled my consistency, that I was free, but when I tried to spread butter, all I got were blobs of my wonder. I made a bet I'd switch to jam to get in more fruits, but I think it's something in my roots. My mother taught me the essentials like brushing my teeth, and DNA gave me the steps on how to sleep and breathe, but my mother didn't teach me how to spread butter, keep routine, or keep clean. Closets full of clutter. 3 balls of frayed yarn, a guitar I never play, 2 moleskins, Copics, a gift, a yoga mat, etc., etc. Today, I'll pick up that used book I never read after I spread peach jam on my toasted bread. The second poem that I'll be reading for you guys is called Thick Black Sludge. Non-Newtonian, it swells and mixes with my stomach acid. I'm nauseous. I stick 2 fingers down my throat, feeling the germs zap from my fingertips to my mucus throat. I wait. I wait. I can't throw up. I wait. The thick black sludge swirls. I feel it in my throat and I hack and I gag so hard my head rocks, but that black sludge swirls, parasitic fiend trying to make a symbiotic bond with me, dread choosing to stay. I can't cry or sweat it out. At sludge velocity, I centrifuge. Thank you.